Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at Bandai's S.H. Figuarts Suicide Squad, the one, the only, the infamous Harley Quinn. Now, as most people know, I missed the original pre-order on this, and I was kind of bummed about that, but I wasn't too worried. It seems like most of the overseas shops get a little bit more stock before actual release. And HLJ, just a couple of days before release, did put up some more stock, so I was able to grab a pre-order there. And then HLJ went on holiday when it was supposed to ship. And then when they returned on January 5th, they shipped my Harley Quinn. But oddly enough, it only took 4 days to get to me, which is a new land speed record here in BFE, Arkansas. But you know what? All that matters is I got my Harley, so very, very cool. The package, it's your standard Figuarts box, but it's bubblegummed up. It's blue, it's pink, it's got Daddy's little monster on it. It's very Harley Quinned. But you got the window, you can see most of the figure, the extra heads, the gun, the bat. It looks like there's some extra hands down behind this graphic right here. On the side, pretty picture of Harley. And then on the back, the promo shots, action shots showing the bat, different heads. And then a bunch of unreadables, but I think it basically boils down to, please don't refer to this figure as a bad bitch. Terrible things happen. On the side, Harley Quinn. Top, Harley Quinn. Bottom, Harley Quinn. So, yeah, the package, I like the colors here. It kind of makes the packaging a little bit exciting, but the figure is kind of lost in all the craziness. But you know what? I open the package, I pull the plastic, get rid of the cardboard. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this open and see exactly what I got here. And there we go, all out of the package. And whoa, this figure is nicer than I thought it would be. Now don't get me wrong, looking at the promotional pictures, I figured, oh, this is gonna be a beautiful figure. It's pretty awesome in its own right, but the figure itself is also cool, the mechanics, the engineering. Whereas the actual look has just a couple of problems. Going over the sculpting, it's all nice and crisp all over the figure. There's some places that are kind of odd, and we'll get to that, but for the most part, the wrinkles, the fishnet on the legs, the boots, every little tear in the shirt, and really the face sculpts and the hair, just all nice sculpting. And then as far as paints go, all in the right place. I love the colors on this. Everything is the correct color. Now there's a couple things missing and the skin tone is a little bit plain, but for the most part, the overall figure, just so much going on here that it's awesome to look at it. There's something new to find on every inch of the figure. Now looking at the figure, the bottom of the shoes, very small base here. Got high heels, very high heels, and then just the toes down on the ground. But for what they are, it's not bad. It's not as hard to stand as you would think it would be. Now, there are some difficulties with the articulation because how the boots are just in real life. The peg has to go down, so you don't get a lot of rocker there. It's more of a twist. So that can make some poses difficult, but as far as just standing on the shelf, yeah, it's not bad at all. This is one of the best shoulder holsters that I've seen because it's built into the jacket itself. It doesn't try to be its own thing. Now the straps for it, they are sculpted to the torso, but the actual holster is inside the jacket. So it's not that bulky. Even when you put the gun in there, it doesn't stick out too much or much more than what it does without the gun in there. Now the couple of problems I have with paint, or well, design I guess, they didn't put her belly tattoos across here. I don't know why. And there is a little bit shading to the skin tone. You can kind of see some darker and some lighter, but it almost seems too light. And then she doesn't have the rotten tattoo on her face. She has the little heart. I don't know if they felt like it was too much or something. Also on top of that, the face printing is nice, but I wish they had gotten the makeup a little bit darker. It's okay, you can see the blue and the pink, but I just think of it as really heavy, much heavier in the movie than it is on the figure. And then finally, to get it out of the way, the butt sculpt. Yeah, it's kind of awesome how they did this, because you pull it out and it's almost like flexing, like the muscles there kind of just going together. But it's actually just a jutted out sculpt that kind of goes into the torso when you push it up, which is kind of what we figured. I didn't actually think it was a flexy material or something. I just thought, wow, that looks really good. And it does until you get to about right there. And then you start seeing articulation. It looks odd and almost too big. I mean, bigger than the movie, really. It's a nice little thing that they threw in there. It's a nice little bit of engineering. I'm going to go over the accessories first and then into the articulation because I do have a problem with one of the heads. For heads, she comes with her wide open smiling face. This is my favorite. This one looks most like Harley Quinn. The second head is a smiling face. This looks good too. At some angles, it does look like Margot Robbie. and it just doesn't. It just looks weird. But looking at it really close, the printing technology, they did a really good job on all three of these heads. But on the smiling head, the eyes on mine seem a little bit off. The left eye is looking straight, while the right eye is kind of looking up. It's not super noticeable unless you just look right at it closely, but yeah, it's there. I see it. I notice it. I hate it. And then the third head is just kind of a neutral look, kind of just standing, thinking, not really doing anything. And looking at this one close, the eyes are pretty straight. It may be just barely slightly crooked, but it doesn't bug me near as much as the smiling face. My problem with this face is I can't help seeing Heather Graham in Boogie Nights for some reason. I don't know. There's a likeness there, definitely. I know it's Harley, but when I look at just the face, yeah, Roller Girl. The head is pretty easy to pop off. The one that was on it in the package, the laughing one, it goes on pretty good because it was on there. It's kind of stretched to the peg. The other two, kind of tight, not as easy to just push on. For hands, she comes with two kind of relaxed hands. The right hand is more relaxed than the left. The left kind of doubles as the holding the weight of the bat hand. She comes with two bat gripping hands, both left and right. These are closed off. She has two full-on splayed out hands. And then for the right hand, she comes with a trigger finger gun holding hand. Now the hands here, ooh, yeah, this is almost as scary as Darth Maul. I mean, they are very, very tight, but very, very small, and it makes me nervous trying to pull them off, and none of the holes in the hands are really straight in. You got to kind of angle them up the thumb. Just getting them in there, it is very nerve-wracking. Just remember to keep it straight until it pops. And then for her weapons, she comes with the pistol. I like the sculpt. In fact, from the movie, I didn't know it said love and hate on the cylinder on both sides, so when it rotates around, it either says love or hate. And then she comes with the Goodnight bat. Great little Harlequin design around the base of it, and then it says Goodnight down the side. Some good colors here. It's not just one brown color for the whole bat. If you ever messed with any of the lightsabers, you know what's going on here. The handle separates from the bat part of it. You can put it through the closed hand, and then you just put the bat back together, and then she's holding it. For articulation, starting at the very, very top, her pigtails are actually articulated. And those are on ball joints, and it's on all three heads. So you can rotate them around, out, in. That actually helps the neck articulation. It gets the hair out of the way. You can get some side to side. You can get forward. You can get back. The choker also hides the articulation at the bottom of the neck, which can get a little gappy when you move it around. But you can get side to side there, and then forward a little bit more, and then back. The shoulders are a butterfly joint, kind of hard to see with the jacket, but it does swing out and forward, and then it comes out to a hinge and swivel. It hinges up to that far, which is great, then swivels around. There's rotation at the shoulder on that joint. There's a single elbow, but it gets up to there. That's pretty fantastic. Then you get down to the wrist, it's standard Bandai, swivel, hinge, swivel. So you have swivel at the top, you have hinge, which I have it set to here, or you can turn it and then get side to side, whichever direction you want to go. There's a ball in the torso and then a ball at the waist, so it gets around pretty good. The hips aren't drop down, and I'm guessing that's because of the butt sculpt, but you can get forward pretty much all the way. But coming back down, butt. When you're trying to bring the leg back down, the butt may try to eat the shorts right there, so you got to kind of keep it from snagging. Out isn't great. You're not going to get the splits out of this figure. Single knee comes up to about right there. Not bad. There is a hinge at the ankle, but you can't get back much because the boot just runs into itself right there. But you can hinge forward. And then I call it a peg. It's not forward facing though, so you just get some rotation at the bottom. It doesn't really help with rocker. For comparison, here she is with the Marvel Legends Black Panther. This is actually a good size. You could probably use this in your comic book display. But then here she is with the S.H. Figuarts Iron Man 3 Tony Stark. I feel like there's a proportion difference here. Tony's head seems really small, or Margot Robbie's head is really huge. But come around, and she almost fits perfectly with the Mayfex Suicide Squad Joker. So at the end of the day, I feel like I shouldn't have stressed as much as I did after I missed the initial pre-order, especially with Bluefin bringing these figures in. She'll be available January 30th, I think it is, in US distributors. So not a big deal at all. But the figure looked good. I really wanted it. And I enjoyed the movie. I make no apologies about that. Was it great? No, it could have used some tweaks. I would have liked an actual enemy, not these faceless beings that they can just slaughter the whole movie. But the characters, yeah, I love the characters from the movie. And having those in figure form make it even better. That's my bread and butter. I love action figures from movies I like. And this is a great action figure. I'm glad I skipped on the Mattel version. There were a couple times I nearly broke and picked her up because I got sick of waiting for this, but I stuck it out. And now I pretty much have a, well, okay, almost perfect Suicide Squad Harley Quinn on my shelf. She just exudes attitude. She's just a bitchy little action figure. And that's not to say anything bad. She's great. It's a great action figure. But man, just looking at it, you're like, oh, she's bitchy. Whew. No, she got attitude. So totally worth the money. If you've been holding off, go ahead, go out and grab this. And like I said, it'll be available in US distributors at the end of this month. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.